Working on an older Jacuzzi whirlpool, and we had drained all the water to clean it, filled it back up, and the heater no longer worked. So not too happy because it was working prior. My son had a few friends over, so I asked his friends, hey, did you just touch the jacuzzi when you're walking by? And he says, yeah, I walked over and I was touching the buttons. I said, you're fucking kidding me. So he turned the heater on while there was no water in the jacuzzi and burned out the heater element. So I will tell you guys, if there's no water in the lines and you turn the heater on, it will burn the heater element. It just melts them internally, and I'll show you how to test the heater element itself. But in any case, I thought maybe it might have been a pressure switch or something else like that. But the easiest way to test the heater element, and I'll show you guys, is to get to the heater element. There's two wires on the top. You can just touch the two wires. Usually if you have a heater element burn out, it will sometimes trip the circuit breaker. That's when it grounds completely to the chassis, but it doesn't always do that, and I'll show you guys in a second. In my case, the heater element was down here at the bottom. I've already removed it, and my biggest problem right now, they don't make them anymore. The heater element for this particular jacuzzi is discontinued. So now I got to figure something out, either do some rerouting or do some modifying to my heater so that I can buy some kind of other element and install it. But I'll show you guys here in a second how this one's designed. Okay, so here's the heater itself. It's in this pipe. It's a metal pipe, and the element is inside here. You'll see there's the element, and it attaches here. And on this particular one, it's actually welded to the ends here, and I'll show you guys here in a second. But let's first get to the testing. So we're going to hold this wire here, touch chassis. You'll see I have no, actually I just touched it there. You'll actually see I'm having continuity, which means I'm shorted to ground right there. That should not have had any continuity to it when I did that right there, and you can see the line light up. Now we'll check the other wire, do the same thing, check it, and you'll see I have continuity. So typically that would burn a circuit breaker, because it shouldn't do that. The other thing you can do is inside the element right there, you can touch a wire to here and touch one to the element right there. Just touch the element, and it should not have continuity there. Basically, their wire goes inside the element, and it's protected with a plastic coating, so it's not supposed to touch, so it should not ground. So if you touch either of these wires and you touch it to the element, it should not ground out. In this case, you can see it's grounding out. So that means this element is bad. So you should have, I believe, continuity between here and here, which you can see I have. But then you should not have continuity to chassis ground. If you have chassis ground, then you have a short to ground. So this element's bad, needs to be replaced. Now they do not make this anymore. It's been completely discontinued. I have seen elements though that go in on they actually have a screw in right here. So I thought maybe I could grind this off right here, the weld, slide these out, and then maybe put one in that has a screw in right here. The thing I'm looking at here is, if you look, there's a hole in the top of this one. This actually has a temperature thermometer basically that goes in here and senses temperature, and so I have to have that with this particular one in order for this whole function to work. Otherwise, I'm going to have some major issues in trying to figure out how to reroute and re-put a new heater in. So that's where my dilemma is right now. I'm thinking about just cutting this off, and I have found a couple elements online that are 240 volt, 55 kW, and they do have threads on. The other option I have is the new style has two fittings that would come out right here and right here. And if I could get it to slide into here and drill two new holes, maybe get an area here where I can maybe get lucky and flatten it out enough without damaging the element, I could maybe slide in a new element, or possibly I could take this here, cut these off, slide the element out, and then weld holes just to fill this. I could still use that insert for the thermometer and then just put a new insert in where I flatten that area. So those are my two options. I'm trying to figure something out now at this point. If I do the slide-in one that puts the two up here, I can pick up the element for about 30 or 40 bucks. If I do the one that screws in here on the end, it's about $60 to $80. And I'm not even sure if it's gonna fit in here with that little loop there, so I'm a little concerned. But anyway, if you guys have any ideas, if you've done something like this with this type of unit where it's just discontinued, and you have some ideas, please pass them on my way. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.